Good morning, ladies. I hope you're doing well today. Today's video is going to be showing you how to make bread. This is not for the experienced bread maker. So no bread trolling today, okay? So for you younger girls that have never made bread before, this is the first thing that I learned how to make when I was about 14 years old. My grandmother taught me how to make bread. So I'm going to show you how to make a homemade tortilla. And you might say, why, when you could just go buy one from the store? Well, number one, when you take the time to make it, you're putting time into it. Therefore, it is being made with love, okay? Number two, store-bought usually has other things added to it to preserve, like chemicals and whatnot. So all you need for delicious bread is 3 ingredients. And remember, a heart of love. So what we have here is 2 cups of flour. So I like to get fine flour. So how we're going to do that is we have a sifter here, okay? And we're going to sift the flour into the bowl here. All right, because when we have our fine flour, it is good to sift it. Sifting it separates it and makes it finer. All right, so once you're done with sifting it, what you're going to do is take a half a teaspoon of sea salt. Okay, I like using sea salt. So you're going to take a half a teaspoon of sea salt and you're going to add that to 1 cup of warm water. And you're going to stir the salt around into the water to get it to dissolve. And then you're going to pour that into the fine flour. All right. And you're going to stir that around. Until you get it all combined. All right. And for the purpose of time, I've got some here already that I have let rest. All right. So this is what the dough looks like after it's rested. So what you want to do is put a little bit more flour into the bowl, just to sprinkle, and then put some on your hands so your hands don't get super sticky. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take that flour and you're going to break it into pieces. Depending upon how big you want your tortillas, you could do, usually I do about 6 or 7 pieces, but we like them big fat tortillas. So what you're going to do, like I said, make sure you have flour. Go ahead and put some flour either on your clean countertop or if you have some type of fancy little cutting board that you use. But what I like to do is take the little rounded ball and play patty cakes with it. So I just go back and forth until I've got it a little flat and it looks like a little disc. And then what I do with that is on my flour countertop, I take my rolling pin and I roll it out. And I turn and roll, turn and roll, turn and roll until you have the desired size and thickness or thinness of how you want the tortilla. So, Yahusha, our Mashiach, our Messiah, okay, that's his name in Hebrew, is Yahusha. The word made manifest. He is our bread of life. He was born in Bethlehem, okay, and how you say it in Hebrew is Bethlehem, which we know as Bethlehem. Bethlehem means house of bread. So nothing is better than homemade bread with a heart of love. Remember, the heart of love. I like to think of it of the elements or the ingredients. It's like an unleavened bread, right? We have the fine flour, we have the salt, we have the water. We don't have anything to add to it to make it rise, such as yeast, baking soda, or baking powder. So the fine flour. The fine flour represents our Creator, our Almighty Yahuwah, perfect, evenness, fully balanced, no excess, no deficiency. We can refer to Leviticus 2:13, 2 Chronicles 13:5, and many other scriptures for that. Salt is an important part. It represents purity, preservation. Our heart should be pure towards Yahuwah, and Yahusha tells us that we are the salt of the earth. We see that in Luke 16:34 through 35 and John 6:58. Water could represent Yahuwah and Yahusha, our living water, okay? Cleansing, purifying, quenching our thirst. When we mix these three ingredients together, it makes a delicious bread. And when we do it with love, representing our Father's love for us, okay, that He manifested, Word became flesh, our bread, our salt, our water, our light, okay? Now, you have to have the element of heat to cook it, like being brought through the fire, right? So I've got my tortilla here. And what I'm going to do, I've got my cast iron skillet already heated up. So I'm going to throw my tortilla on it. Now, it's not the prettiest little design here, but sometimes it comes out good in a circular motion. But we have our 2 cups of fine flour, our half a teaspoon of salt, our cup of water, and our heat. So you want to have a good skillet. I like the cast iron skillet. The first one, we got to turn it up a little. It takes a little bit usually for the first one to get going. And then once you've cooked the first one, because it's the skillet is heated up, it usually doesn't take long after that. So I have lots of tortillas to make this morning. But you're going to let that cook on one side, usually about, I would say give it maybe a minute, but not quite. It could already be heated up enough that you don't want to burn it. But you want to have it good enough where you have like the little brown spots on each side. And so while that's cooking, and I can show you an illustration of what it looks like, even though most of you know what it looks like, I hope that this message is an encouragement to you. And by telling you these things, like representing what these things mean, makes it even more special. You know, how we think of the things that we do in our everyday lives. Everything that He created, everything that has a meaning, you know, it's very special. And like I said, there's nothing like fresh bread. You can use the tortilla, you can use it for anything. You can use it for a breakfast burrito, you can use it for a bean burrito, you could use it for dipping into hummus or olive oil. And you could also add a couple teaspoons of olive oil to your mixture before you cook it. It gives it a nice little flavor. But all right, so we have a tortilla here. It's going to be delicious. And once you make enough of these, you know, you just have fun with it. You could just throw it like a frisbee if you want it. Anyways, I hope you have a wonderful day. And I hope that you try making this. And I hope that this message was an encouragement to you. Have a great day. Shalom, shalom.